Assalamualaikum, salam hormat. Anda bersama saya Haris Ashraf Hasnan. Kalau kita telitikan pada 2021, KWSP memulakan langkah untuk beralih menjadi pelabur lestari dan menetapkan 2 sasaran pelaburan lestari, iaitu memiliki portfolio patuh ESG sepenuhnya menjelang 2030 dan juga portfolio neutral iklim menjelang 2050. Dan sasaran-sasaran ini sebenarnya disokong oleh beberapa polisi ESG yang telah dibangunkan segera ataupun sebagai panduan aktiviti pelaburan KWSP dalam mengendalikan isu-isu berkaitan ESG dan juga sektor-sektor kontroversi yang telah diberikan keutamaan berdasarkan keperluan dan materialiti kepada KWSP. Dan dokumen-dokumen ini akan disemak dan dikemaskini secara berkala untuk mengambil kira sebarang perkembangan terkini. Jadi saya berbesar hati hari ini individu yang boleh dikatakan sesuai untuk berkongsi cerita berkenaan dengan KWSP dan pelaburan lestarinya, saudari Nor Idzma Hassim yang merupakan Ketua Sustainable Investment Center EPF. Idzma, terima kasih kerana sudi bersama dengan Astro AWANI.
Terima kasih Haris dan juga terima kasih kepada Astro AWANI menjemput saya mewakili KWSP untuk membincangkan pelaburan lestari ini.
Ya, Idzma, kalau kita telitikan terms banyak sebenarnya: sustainability, sustainable, lestari, ESG, go green. Kesemua terms, terminologi ini sebenarnya menjadi kebiasaan ataupun dah semakin familiar lah antara kita kalau kita bercakap soal sustainability, grow as the current trend moving forward ini. So before we dive deeper into it, for everyone's benefit, mungkin Idzma boleh kongsikan dan juga huraikan secara ringkas asas ataupun konsep of sustainability ni, Idzma.
Yeah. Okey, baiklah. Sebagai pembuka kata dan manfaat semua, definisi literal sustainability adalah kelestarian atau kemampanan. So kedua-dua perkataan ini sebenarnya berkongsi makna, tapi ada juga perbezaan antara kedua perkataan ini. Kelestarian secara umumnya bermaksud keadaan yang tidak berubah atau terpelihara seperti asal dan selalunya dikaitkan dengan alam sekitar, manakala kemampanan adalah berdaya tahan dan mempunyai potensi untuk berkembang. So kedua-dua perkataan ini berhubung kait dengan kelangsungan atau longevity. So dari segi konsep, sustainability ini bermaksud memenuhi keperluan kita sendiri tanpa menjejaskan keupayaan generasi akan datang untuk memenuhi keperluan mereka pula. Tapi ini bukan dari segi alam sekitar sahaja, tapi juga perlu memastikan ada keseimbangan dari segi pertumbuhan ekonomi dan juga kesejahteraan sosial.
Okey, mungkin you boleh kongsikan juga dari sudut mungkin how can a business be sustainable, kerana kalau kita telitikan dari segi konsep sustainability ini banyak perkara yang perlu difokuskan. Pandangan Idzma melihat perkara ini.
So if I can just go back a little bit, so macam as I think you said earlier, it appears to be quite a I mean, sustainability is a bit of a buzzword, right? Sebenarnya sustainability ni bukanlah perkara yang baru. It's not a new concept. It may not have been labelled as sustainability then, but generations before us have been practicing it for a long time. Particularly on the sustainable use of resources, because there is that awareness that we are living on a planet that has limited resources. So extending the concept of sustainability to businesses, it is the practice of operating a business in a way that meets the current economic, social and environmental needs without compromising the ability of our future generations to also meet their needs. So Dari, how can a business be sustainable? So for businesses to continue to be sustainable, I mean basically to sustain into the future, it needs to conduct its business in a way that is both profitable as well as socially responsible.
Yes, of course.
So it needs to ensure that it takes into account ESG factors. What that is obviously is environmental, social and governance factors when they make their day-to-day business decisions. So issues that cover ESG ni banyak, right? It's not just about climate change, and there's also the social factors. Basically, you have to ensure that you are improving the working conditions of your employees, and you are upholding human rights, and obviously the governance factor is also a big thing as well. It's important. So all this will create value and will benefit all stakeholders.
Idzma, kalau kita cakap berkenaan dengan pelaburan lestari ataupun sustainable investment ini, mungkin Idzma boleh kongsikan what about sustainable investment ini, how does that differ with the concept of sustainability? Apa yang bezanya di sini?
Okay, so sustainable investment pula is actually an investment discipline. So what it means is that in addition to financial returns, ESG considerations are also taken into account when making your investment decisions. So the objective here is actually to strengthen your risk management structure, in addition to creating opportunities to create values. Tapi kat sini kan, it's important to highlight that the goal here is still about optimizing the risk-adjusted financial returns. It's still about making money lah.
Of course. Idzma, taking from now, we understand two concept of sustainability and also sustainable investment. Okay, dua konsep yang berbeza itu. Would the same set of skill or expertise needed for both, or maybe is entirely totally different ke macam mana pandangan Idzma?
Okay, so the two concepts are obviously linked. I mean, both would require one to have a good appreciation of sustainability and how that would impact, your business. So, but while sustainability of an enterprise is more about ensuring that one's operations are sustainable. So you look at macam your carbon footprint, how you are managing your energy efficiency, etc. Sustainable investment plot is actually you need an investment punya skill set lah, because you would need to help you would need to have the ability to identify potential ESG issues that would impact the financial performance of a business. And you not only that, you also need to find ways how to mitigate those risks, those ESG risks that in a business.
Now we go to EPF and SIC. It came to my knowledge, EPF somewhat spearheads the sustainability journey as investor, and particularly on the investment side. For example, like sustainable investment. Mungkin Idzma boleh share sikit lah macam mana EPF ini relevant kepada sustainability lestari ini. Why the focus has shifted to it, and also what have you done, Idzma?
Sure, Haris. So khusus untuk soalan ini, I think ada baiknya lah kita imbas baliklah semula sejarah dan latar belakang organisasi KWSP ini, kan? So just to recap, EPF is a pension fund. And we have been tasked with the role of managing a defined contribution retirement scheme for the private sector and the non-pensionable public sector employees. And we have more than 15 million members and AUM of R1 trillion. So obviously that's huge. So at the core of our sustainable investment initiative is our commitment to our vision, which is to help members achieve a better future. And for us, what that means is to make sure that they have their money when they retire. Pretty much that's what it is for us, right? So and how and we also realize that for us to continue to deliver the sustainable returns for our members, we need to ensure that we incorporate all the long-term investment value drivers into our investment decision making. So this is to enable us to make better informed decisions. Right, and we can only do this if we adopt a sustainable investment approach. So what that means is we cannot just consider financial factors. We must also think about the other factors that would impact our investments. Dan tapi kat sini kita nak highlight that we actually not earth warriors. At the end of the day, we need to EPF needs to to deliver returns. We need to give out dividends. So what we need to do here, we need to ensure that we do not invest in stranded assets. We need to ensure that the companies that we invest in are actually profitable and also sustainable. So by us allocating our capital to sustainable companies that address issues macam climate change and so on, we are indirectly helping to make the planet a better place for all of us to live in, and also for the future generations.
Idzma, maybe you want to highlight in terms of the kalau kita telitikan kesediaan lah, kalau kita tengok syarikat-syarikat besar, big caps ni macam mana their readiness nak adapt to sustainable, especially sustainable investment, dan juga menerima pelaburan-pelaburan untuk melaraskan ataupun melaksanakan sustainability dalam perniagaan mereka ini.
So if I could maybe talk a little bit about the policies that EPF has introduced with regard to sustainable investment. So we have actually published since 31st March last year, 2022, 3 types of sustainable investment policies. So we have the the overarching sustainable investment policy. And then we have the priority issue policies that look at our stance on two important ESG issues, climate change and workers' well-being. And then we also have the priority sector policies covering 6 key sectors. So in the priority issue policies and the sector policies are the core requirements, which are what we expect our companies to have in their business. Basically these are the requirements that are needed for them to manage the ESG related matters. So dari situ kita boleh tengok, there's actually this benchmark, and we can actually, or rather yardstick, that we can actually see whether the companies are actually ready
or not.
Right. So dari segi tu, we are happy to actually share that. Many are actually ready. Especially the big caps. They know that sustainability is not something that they can ignore. So yes, there are no issues, in them actually being ready, especially the big caps. But of course, when we came up with our framework, we did have plenty of dialogues and engagement sessions with our stakeholders. So when we did our policies, it was done not in isolation, and it was together with our stakeholders. And of course, it also, we had to make sure that our policies are in line with the global best practices as well.
Idzma, kalau kita tengok besides big caps, I kena bawa the reality, iaitu usahawan PMKS kita yang mikro, kecil, sederhana ini. Sebab SMEs di Malaysia ini sekitar 1.15 juta, 97% their business menyumbang kepada GDP around 38.2%. Mungkin kerana kalau kita tengok SME ni, they are currently struggling to make ends meet. Contoh, fokus mereka kalau boleh produk, maksudnya kalau nak jual, kalau dia meniaga ayam tu, goreng ayam tu, dia nak make sure produk ayam dia tu terjual hasilnya. So dia tak fikir lagi soal nak lestari, nak ESG apa semua ni is second part for them. Sebab fokusnya adalah untuk memastikan dia products and services itu dapat dijual, dibeli oleh masyarakat. Mungkin you boleh kongsikan bagaimana mungkin someone who has this passion in sustainability, maybe you can share how you address isu permasalahan seperti sebegini.
Betul tu, Haris, actually that's very true. Tapi SME memang sangat penting untuk our economy, right? And it's very important that they are also not left behind, in the sustainability journey. So what we want to say here is for them to take it step by step. They need to prioritize. They need to first believe that sustainability is important to them, and it would have an impact to the sustainability of their business, right? So they need to understand also the materiality of ESG issues, because when it comes to ESG, bukan semua ESG issues relevant to you, relevant to a business. You need to see which ones are the ones that's relevant, right? Sebenarnya transitioning to become more sustainable does not need to be complex or complicated. You can start small. You can look at how you can cut costs
with low cost.
Kan, betul tak? You can cut costs through energy efficiency. You jangan macam buang-buang your resources. So cutting costs this way will enhance your profitability, and at the same time also macam will have a positive environmental punya impact, right? So tak sesusah sebenarnya. You just have to take that small steps first. Sebab what we do advise, however, is that is for you to look at it not as a cost, but see it as like macam all these sustainability related expenses as an investment. Know that, have that faith that inshallah it will pay off in the long term, right? So you do need, but the point is you do need to make that step, otherwise akan tertinggal.
Betul. Apa-apa pun tetap kena ambil langkah, walaupun sekecil mana pun. Perlu memulakan langkah itu dalam melaksanakan lestari dalam perniagaan dan sebagainya. Mungkin akhir sekali lah, Idzma, mungkin Idzma nak kongsikan mungkin nasihat kepada para penonton kita, terutama yang bergelar, mereka yang menjalankan perniagaan, dan mungkin di peringkat SME yang tak tahu lagi what's next for me, kan, apa sebenarnya sustainable ni. Mungkin ada pesanan kepada orang ramai.
So I guess the 3 key messages I would like to share is that sustainability and profitability are not mutually exclusive. Maksudnya kalau sustainable doesn't mean that you will not be profitable. In fact, that's not the case. It should make you profitable. Secondly, it is no longer nice to have, but it's something that you need to have. Thirdly, and most importantly, is to remember that not to chase sustainability just for the sake of it. You need to know. You need to understand your intention behind that desire to become more sustainable. So you need to identify the beliefs that are related to sustainability that are driving your business, and use that beliefs to guide you forward. Because ultimately, sustainability will not be attained if there's no genuine commitment and efforts behind it.
Ya, of course. Sudah tentu banyak ruang dan juga peluang, dan ini merupakan langkah kalau fokus minggu hadapan, termasuklah melihat kepada apa yang akan berlangsung di San Francisco, Amerika Syarikat, di peringkat APEC, bagaimana isu-isu melibatkan climate change, semua berkait rapat, isu carbon trading dan banyak lagi sebenarnya yang akan dibincangkan. Itu di peringkat atas, tetapi merakyatkan isu ini di peringkat bawah, bagaimana peranannya oleh GLC dan juga GLIC di Malaysia ini, syarikat-syarikat swasta dan juga korporat dalam menggalakkan pertumbuhan dan juga pelaksanaan ESG ini juga cukup penting, termasuklah melihat kepada pelaburan yang lestari seperti yang digerakkan oleh EPF sendiri. Terima kasih sekali lagi saudari Nor Idzma Hassim yang merupakan Ketua Sustainable Investment Center EPF yang berkongsi pandangan beliau, dan sudah tentu banyak lagi topik-topik menarik akan kami bawakan sepanjang perbincangan minggu ini, memfokuskan kepada isu merentas ekonomi semata-mata, tapi sebaliknya banyak lagi perkara-perkara yang mendasari permasalahan rakyat terutamanya. Sekian sahaja untuk waktu ini. Saya Haris Ashraf Hasnan. Assalamualaikum. Salam hormat.